starts in 10, 9, 8, 7,
I don't hear the sound.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Welcome to another episode of Two Peas in a Bong. It's your boy KP.
And minus DP, it's your boy Bong. What's good? Welcome to the show.
All right, y'all. All right, so we got another show. Bong, man. We're going to talk about that NBA basketball, man. Playoffs. It was a couple game sevens, and it was a game one. But before we get into that game one of the new series, we got to talk about the old, man. And first, we got to start with DP's LA Clippers playing the Denver Nuggets. What were your thoughts about that game?
Hey, we went from we are live, SoFi's got the beehive, Clippers survived, Lakers in 5. We got to update that now. You know what I'm saying? So we still live for another night. The beehive is at SoFi.
Mm-hmm.
The Clippers.
The Lakers went out in 5, but in 7, the Clippers didn't survive.
The Clippers couldn't stay alive. Lakers in 5, man. Oh, dude. It was a cold game, man. And it was almost like the Clippers are cursed, man. Like I can't say it any other way. Like, you guys had one of the most electric series of all the series this go round, and for some reason, game 7 comes, and all of a sudden, y'all just shit the bed. I mean, it wasn't close from early. It was never close. You know what I'm saying? Denver was never in trouble. I got a fly on my screen.
Well,
But
in the first quarter, the Clippers came out strong. Pause. They were up by 5 at the end of the first quarter, 26-21. And that was all she wrote.
that was all, huh?
Yeah. After that, it was it. But I'm gonna tell you, I saw it early when I was watching. And what I was waiting on, and it's something I've been noticing is James Harden's lack of aggression in terms of trying to score. So one may look at James Harden's stats and say, hey man, he had 13 assists,
Yeah.
but he only shot the ball 8 times.
Oh yeah.
When the Clippers are competitive, James Harden is a scorer. James Harden is getting to his spots.
Yeah.
But this is James Harden's. This is the 4th team James Harden has been on in a game 7 and came up short.
Yeah.
The Clippers, Philly, Brooklyn, and Houston.
Yeah.
So at this point, yeah, man,
So
I've
you
been saying
have
James has to do better in these situations. After game 4, after 4 games, he stops attacking. He had
yeah.
in game 6 he attacked, but it was like, man, what about game 5? What about game 7? Nothing.
Yeah, no, for sure. Hey, Scotty boy, top of the top, man. Welcome. Appreciate you tapping in as always. You did. To your point, KP,
Mm-hmm.
I'm pulling up James Harden's last 5 elimination games and what his production is in the last 5 elimination games. Okay, so go back to 2021, Game 7 versus Milwaukee. I believe that's when he was with Brooklyn.
Yeah.
He was 22 points, 5 of 17 from the field, 2 of 12 from 3-point, 4 turnovers, 9 assists. Then you have 2022, Game 6 versus Miami. I assume that was when he was with Philly. Absolutely, because they underachieved that year. They were saying Philly was supposed to go to the that was their best shot to make it
Yeah.
to make a championship run. They got ran by Miami. So 2022 Game 6 versus Miami, 11 points, 4 of 9 from the field, 3 of 7 from the 3-point line,
What
four
year?
turnovers, 9 assists. That was 2022.
Okay. All
Yeah,
right.
11 points, 3 of 7 from the field. No, 4 of 9 from the field, 3 of 7 from the 3-point line. 4 turnovers, 9 assists. 2023, Game 7 versus Boston. That was with Philly again.
Yeah.
Um, he had 9 points, 3 of 11 from the field, 1 of 5 from three, 5 turnovers, 7 assists. Then you have 2024. 2024, he was with the Clippers last year, right?
Yes, he was.
2024, Game 6 versus Dallas. He had 16 points on 5 of 16 shooting. Gosh. 0 of 6 from the three, 13 assists. And then again, in 2025, the game you're referencing right now versus Denver, 7 points, 2 of 8 from the field, 1 of 4 from three, 13 assists. So again, James Harden is never beating the allegations, man. Like it's, you know what I'm saying? This is, unfortunately, this is going to follow him, man. Like, gosh, my boy James Harden be choking in closeout games. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is, but it's to the point now I feel sorry for him
And
because that's
notice
that's a stench that you can't get off you.
notice what you said though in all those games. I don't think he had a single game that you mentioned of less than 7 assists.
Right, 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 right,
So
right.
it's
It's
like
almost like he's scared. It's almost like he's
you're
scared.
deferring. You're doing a
Right,
lot of
right, right, right,
deferring.
right, right, right.
Now,
Absolutely.
the game against Dallas last year, the one thing that you said that was different was he did take 16 shots. So he did shoot the ball more, but in the other games, I think it was only one other game he shot 11 times. Every other game, it was single digits. And it's like you see that he takes less shots, has more assists. So you're focusing on the role players and the others, as they say on TNT, to get it done.
Correct.
James, we need you to get it done.
Yeah. Let me say this before, because Kawhi Leonard definitely played a role in what took place, and I would say so. Kawhi Leonard in the box score.
I can't say in this last one he did. He didn't play the whole fourth quarter. He
Okay,
had he had 22.
22.
Yeah, he had 22 going into the fourth.
Okay,
And he just sat because the game was out of reach.
but
So
again,
he
so
was
six
using
of 13, 6 of 13. Are we letting Kawhi off the hook? If we know James Harden history at this point, right? We know James Harden's history.
Mhm.
Um, Kawhi, I need you. I need you to come out. It might need to be a 30 point a 30 point game, but an effective and efficient 30 point game. You get what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
then, hey James, we're taking a lot of the pressure off you. I know we're going to talk about the Golden State game in a
Yeah.
little bit, but again, Steph Curry, you having an off game to start. I need somebody else to bring us along until Steph Curry decides to come to the party. Because once you put the pressure on James Harden, it seems, and the game is, either out of hand or out of reach, or it's getting out of hand or getting out of reach. It seems like then he starts to, go into his shell. All right.
Yeah.
You remember on the movie Waterboy, where the coach, Bobby Boucher's coach,
Mhm.
saying, he's a great play caller, designs hella plays, but for some reason when he goes up against this one guy, he shrivels. You know what I'm saying? He's like in the closet, hiding behind clothes and stuff. Like, it's like, is that what it is with James Harden? Like, these closeout games are doing something to you to the point that you're just like, you can't get out your own way. I don't know what it is, but now we got a big enough sample size, bro, where like that's the kind of shit that's gonna stick with you. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
you've seen other people that have got that stigma. Hey, man, Like this isn't, you're not playing well in certain games, and they work to get that stench off. Remember Tragic Johnson? They said that shit with Magic. Or
Yeah,
Magic can't get it done, and so on and so forth. And you have to work and work and work to get that stench off you. Kobe coming out as a rookie, the 2 air balls in Utah, like those are things that you have to work on as a player to get that rep off of you. Like, hey man, listen, you can't don't put that on my jacket. You know what I'm saying? Like I need you to understand what my game is. And if for some reason, man, James, as skilled as he is, closeout games just are not his thing.
yeah. It's and one that you didn't even mention that I'm thinking of right now was well, two of them. I'm thinking about against the Warriors in Game 7 when they had a chance to go to the
The
championship.
Houston game, the
Yeah.
Houston team with him and CP, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
And then the other one I'm thinking about is James Harden against the Clippers when they blew a 2-0 lead when they were beating the Clippers.
yeah, man.
And this is when he was having his MVP runs. So that part of the game for James is unfortunate. My thoughts on Kawhi are a little different. I thought Kawhi played his behind off, man, and he just didn't have any help. I thought that Zubac rebounded well early. I think he had like 10 rebounds in like the first half. Like he was doing his thing. The the first thing that they did that I was like, what are we doing? Was Tyronn Lue decided to change the starting lineup. He took Chris Dunn out and he started what's the guy's name? He started Derrick Jones Jr.
Okay.
And Derrick Jones, he started out hitting shots. I think he scored like 7 quick points. And it was like, okay, maybe they found something.
Yeah, yeah.
And then Derrick missed a couple 3-pointers, and they're like, get him out of there. Yep, you're starting to shoot too much. And then
Mhm.
they put in Nicholas Batum. And they're like, okay, well, Nicholas, he'll be able to shoot and catch and shoot and space the floor. He hit his first 3, but Nicholas Batum only took what did he take? He took 3 shots. That
Yeah.
was all he took. So it wasn't like he was getting the looks. The difference maker, one of the difference makers in that game was Russell Westbrook. And the irony of that Russell Westbrook situation, I'm gonna read something. The Clippers in the offseason, the Clippers decided to trade Russell Westbrook and opted to eventually go with Chris Dunn in a similar role where they were going to be bringing him off the bench. Russell Westbrook went to Utah. Utah waived him. He ends up in Denver. Poetic justice. You get to play against the team that traded you in the offseason.
Absolutely. And
For
you
your
heard what he was telling them as they were putting the finishing touches on game 7. Get their ass the fuck out of here.
absolutely.
Send
Ab-
they punk ass home.
absolutely.
Yeah.
And so the other thing, so in the 7 games,
And not to cut you off,
uh-huh.
but did you hear the interview that Russ had after the game talking about the Russell Westbrook experience?
No.
So
No, I didn't hear it.
they asked him in the press conference, like, hey, what's it like? You know what I'm saying, to like be Russell Westbrook in these games or some shit like that. And he's talking about like, hey, listen, man, it's a Russell Westbrook experience. I might miss threes. I might miss a 3. You know what I'm saying? Make a 3. Like he's just talking about like, hey, listen, man, I might blow a layup. You know what I'm saying? I might miss a
Talk your
3. I
stuff,
might,
Russ.
yeah.
Talk
He's
your
just
stuff,
saying,
Russ.
yeah. So he's just like, hey, listen, man, like it's a roller coaster, but I'm gonna get mine. You know what I'm saying? It kind of remind me of remember that year that the Lakers had Ron Artest and they won a championship with Ron Artest,
Yeah.
and how tricky his offensive game was. Like his defense was A1,
Yeah.
but his offense was tricky as hell. So remember, I think it was in the finals. Artest is it's crunch. It's super late in the game. Artest goes up for a 3. Everybody said no.
He made it. Yeah.
Hey, this motherfucker Artest gonna say, man, all I was thinking of was, hey, Kobe actually passed me the ball.
Yeah, I
Yo.
remember that.
But that's the Russell Westbrook shit. Like, bro, like you never know. You never know what you're gonna get from him. You know what I'm saying? It could be good, it could be bad. But he stays true to himself. I feel like ever since he left OKC, what was his first stop when he left OKC?
Houston.
When he got to Houston, it was cool till it wasn't. And I
It,
think
it,
he was there with James.
it didn't
He
fit.
he just didn't fit. And then on top of
Yeah,
that,
it was Dan Tony wanted him to shoot threes.
yeah,
Wanted to space the floor.
yeah,
And yeah, so it didn't fit with him and James. And James was ball dominant. And he's passing it, he's dribbling the clock out, and he'll pass it to you with 2 seconds. Now you got a grenade.
yeah.
And
You
yeah,
gotta just let it go.
yeah.
And my thing is, Russell Westbrook, to me at least, ever since he left OKC, he never went to it. He hasn't been on a team where he can play his kind of game. They've always tried to pair him up with another superstar whose game doesn't really complement his game.
Yeah.
He would go, if you ask me,
Hmm.
he will work well with like a Steph who
Yeah.
doesn't necessarily need the ball all the time. You know what I'm saying? Russell Westbrook is a willing passer, obviously. So like that kind of combination will really work. But again, because Steph is one of those players, one of the rare NBA players who scores a lot and can create his own shot, but doesn't necessarily need to have the ball in his hand all the time, it makes him a good fit for most NBA players
Yeah.
because most NBA players, who wouldn't want to play with a guy who's not necessarily trying to have, I don't want to have the ball in my hand all the time. And if you look at it, the way Golden State operates, most of his passes, the nuanced stuff that happens between him and Draymond because Draymond knows him. So, you know what I'm saying? Everybody else is kind of like, hey, if Steph's open, I'll get it to him. All the stuff where it's like, hey, Steph has got to like eye contact. Hey, man, find me in this little sweet spot right here. It's all Draymond, so. But I think his game would pair well with Steph Curry. But again, he's had to play with James Harden, LeBron James. Now he's playing with Jokic. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think last year when he played with the Clippers, there was no real because you had Harden, you had Kawhi was out. Yeah, it was just too much going on with the Clippers.
Yeah,
absolutely. So, but hey, shout out to him, man. I as much as I'm a Laker fan, and Kev, you being a Laker fan as well, we don't give a fuck about the Clippers.
Nah.
As a fan base, as a team, we look at them as the little brothers. That's how we'll always look at them. But I really thought they had a chance to do something. And, I keep going back to that game 4 that DP was talking about, losing that game 4. Tricked off that game 4 where you come back from being down 22 and lose it at the buzzer. It was a great game, but I think they lost. Now I can admit, DP, wherever you are, if you're listening, the Clippers lost this series in game 4.
With Eric Gordon.
You got it.
Aaron Gordon. Excuse me.
Yes.
Aaron Gordon ducked at the buzzer.
Yes. What you say?
The buzzer. He flushed the chances down of winning the series down with him.
What'd you say? The road to Damascus?
Oh yeah. I've seen the light, man.
I've seen the light. Okay, DP, you're right. You're right. They lost this series. They lost this series in game 4 when they seemingly tricked off what was a great 22-point comeback. Actually took the lead.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it was a lapse in judgment or if it was just somebody not boxing out, or if it was just a lucky bounce.
You know who didn't box out?
Who? Kawhi or James?
James Harden.
Wow.
It was James Harden. Yeah.
Okay.
One of the
what do you say? Look at Scotty Boy. Hold on, kid.
Scotty Boy. Remember, I called it the Nuggets in 7.
Yeah. I mean, hey, Scotty Boy.
All right.
You got one.
One of the things that I was going to say about Russell Westbrook when you were talking about him is when he was in OKC, it became his team. Harden, like, it was him and Durant. Durant was obviously the guy.
Yeah,
And then when Durant left, Russell Westbrook became the franchise player.
yeah,
So, once Russell Westbrook got traded from OKC, every other stop, he was no longer the franchise player. So he was forced to try to fit in with all these
absolutely,
other guys. And
absolutely.
that was unfair to him.
And you know what it did? I don't think his game recovered. I don't think
No,
his game ever recovered
it,
from that.
it didn't, because you know what everybody wanted him to do? They wanted him to shoot. Hey
Yeah,
man, just stand in the corner and catch and shoot.
yeah.
And honestly, I hate the way the Lakers did Russell Westbrook. Like
That was probably his worst fit.
like I hated how they did him.
Yeah,
Like I remember going to some of the Laker games and seeing him, and he just looked dejected. Like,
yeah,
man, let me just get out of here, man.
yeah.
So I was happy when he was able to move on and actually land with the Clippers. I'm like, okay, you still in your hometown. Maybe they'll have a little bit more respect for you than what the Lakers did. Because the
Yeah.
Lakers he was Rodney Dangerfield out there, man.
Can't get gets no respect, right?
Yeah, with no respect, man.
Yeah,
But one of the things I wanted to read. So, he was traded for Chris Dunn. Chris Dunn averaged 6 points a game in this series. 6 points a game, 3.4 rebounds, 1.3 assists. That's what he averaged in this series. Russell Westbrook in this series, 13.8 points. You might as well say 14. 14 points, 5 rebounds, 2.8 assists, 3 assists pretty much. Russell Westbrook dang near doubled him and all
in
that stuff.
production,
So
right,
one may ask and one may wonder if the roles were reversed, if Dunn is in Denver
right.
and Russell is in LA with the Clippers, does the series go different? Do the Clippers win the series?
I'm not sure because again, I think Russ in Denver.
I
It's
think they
hard to
win.
say. I think he's a better fit in Denver because
I think they fit. I think they win because you don't have Paul George in LA anymore. I think that was part of the problem is LA just they had too much.
yeah.
Now you don't have him. You had Norman
But you had
Powell.
a healthy Kawhi, especially down the
Yeah.
stretch. So
But
like that takes away from what Russ could have done or would have done, and that's you know
the other thing that he did though for his teammates is he would ignite them. He would give them that jolt of adrenaline, that energy. That's
yeah.
what like that may have been the thing that James Harden needed.
Yeah.
Or you just pull him and play Russ and let Russ go. Like, man, just sit your ass down, James. You don't want to shoot the ball? You want to keep passing? Nah, just sit down.
Because I think with Russ, the one thing you could never take away from him was his his aggression and his willingness to play hard, right? Like
Absolutely.
that
Absolutely.
that is something that regardless where he played or regardless what the fit was or whether he was a good fit or not a good fit, he's gonna hustle. He's gonna play hard. He's like very dynamic. You know what I'm saying? Like very. He
Energetic.
plays He's a
Yeah.
violent basketball player, right? He
Reckless
plays.
abandon. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and that is a lot of times that part of the game is so missing from today's NBA, right? We're missing those, you know what I'm saying, like just the bad guy. I'm not your buddy. I'm not your friend. He's always got the snarl. He's always pissed. Um, and I think like that was one of his greatest strengths that regardless what team he played on, no matter where he was, what the fit was, whether it was good or it was bad, that was something that you can't take away his hustle, you can't take away his heart.
This is what
So
Scotty Boy said something. He said, what do y'all think happens to Russ after the season?
He was on a 1 year with Denver.
Yes.
And that's the other thing. Like he keeps getting bounced around. Depending on what happens, I think a lot of it has to do with what happens the rest of the playoffs. So if Denver makes a deep playoff run, let's say they make it to let's say Denver makes it to the NBA Finals or the Western Conference Finals with Russ, and they lose in 7 with Russ. Like, do you bring him back?
I would.
I'd bring him back.
Yeah, I would.
You
Because
get what I'm saying?
you don't really have anything on that bench. You haven't developed those young guys over the past couple years.
Yeah.
So yeah, you might want you need to keep him, and you know that you're gonna get him for a steal. So
Right. Hey,
go
hey,
ahead.
Scotty boy, you said Russ always shows effort and can't take that away from him, but it's just the boneheaded plays he makes certain situations. Do you recall the interview that they had talking about and he explained the Russell Westbrook experience? Like, hey, you're gonna get some of the goods, you're gonna get some of the bad. Like I respect him for having that you know what I'm saying, being honest with himself and just saying like, hey, listen, that's where I am now. That wasn't his game before. I think a lot of it has to do with him bouncing around the league, him losing a lot of his confidence. Remember, there was times, especially when he was in LA, because you're on that big stage when you're with the Lakers, right? You're expected to do so much where everything he did was a meme. And then you had Skip Bayless at the time. He would come in every day. You can say what you want about Skip Bayless. He fucked over a lot of people's careers by having a public forum or having a stage that he was on and using it to downplay certain players. He did it with Dez Bryant as a Cowboy. He did it with Russell Westbrook as a Laker. He would come in and show Russell Westbrook lowlights to where they'll put like the clown music behind, like so yeah, like that. All that shit happened. What up, Dill World? Top of the top. Appreciate you fucking with us, man. Welcome, welcome, welcome. But yeah, like, you know what I'm saying? Like all that stuff really affected Russ to where I don't think mentally he ever bounced back from that. So
Yeah.
now you get the Russell Westbrook experience, and it is what it is.
And Scotty Boy said that Denver's losing the series for sure, and he believes that OKC will beat them in 6 games. So
Um, I see that, but I mean, Jokic is the ultimate equalizer. Like what he's able to do. Um, I mean, you know, he's liable to give you a 50-point, 60-point triple double. Like if you got somebody who can go out there and give you 60 and give you a triple double, I mean, that's accounting for shit. You could possibly account for 80, 90% of the offense.
yeah.
So it doesn't matter who's out there. Hey man, listen, go stand over there. I'll get you the ball. He's coaching now too, right? So he's on
Yeah.
the bench coaching.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you know, it's definitely it'll be a good series, and I think that Oklahoma City hasn't been tested yet, right?
hmm
But we saw a few games in which they could have lost to Memphis, and Memphis is basically a one-trick pony with Ja. They got a couple guys, you know. What's my man, the big man that shoots the funny threes?
Oh, you talking about Jaren Jackson Jr.
Jaren Jackson Jr., right? Who's built like Roy Hibbert, but he likes, he's
I don't know why he don't get in the post a little bit more, man.
like you a big 7-footer, man.
I,
I was,
I,
you know, and I'm gonna stay on.
broad shoulders.
I'm gonna stay on topic, but I was at an AAU tournament this weekend with my son, and while in between games, you know, you go watch some of the other kids, watch some of the older kids. We watching some 15s, some 16-year-olds play, and they got guys out there that's like 6'5", 6'6", and it's like they won't crash the boards. They have decided size advantages, and everybody wants to shoot the three. Everybody wants to hang out around the perimeter. Nobody wants to go inside and crash the board. So I just don't understand it. It's the league has created an environment where it's almost like you look down on anybody that wants to be like a paint player or someone that wants to take on a Shaq role or, you know, just any decent big man. You get what I'm saying? And I don't know where that came from, but that shit is whack. And it's really why the product is watered down. Like, if you have a dominant big man, right? Like the Shaq, during the Shaq era, he was a dominant big man, but that didn't take away from the guard play. You still had great guards. You still had great shooters. Jaren Jackson Jr., if you want to pop out every now and again, if somebody dares you to shoot and go to work and shoot it. Same with Anthony Davis. I used to say that shit with Anthony Davis when he's with the Lakers. Like, you don't have to fall in love with the three. Like, if somebody dares you to shoot it, fuck that. I'll come out here and shoot it. But AD, you got so many advantages. Skilled, giftedly with the, you know what I'm saying, gifted with the ball, putting the ball on the ground, you know what I'm saying, back to the basket, face up, like, and you got a size advantage. Like, why do you want to pull it out and go to the 3-point line? That shit is crazy.
And your boy Dizzle's in the building. What up, Dizzle?
Dizzle. I'm mad you missed it too, because we got after it for the Kendrick and Drake conversation for like a cool 2.5 hours, man. You came on the tail end, and Dizzle that's my guy's my brother, man. We had during the beef, so during the whole Kendrick and Drake beef, not to switch subjects, me and Dizzle really had a back and forth, and he was putting me up on the Joe Budden podcast, like the episodes when the new episodes came out and they was talking about it. So yeah, that was a great time in hip hop. Some would call it the revolution of hip hop, like snatching back what hip hop, the origin of what hip hop was, right? The battling, the competition, the competitive nature. They put everybody on the sideline. A lot of music couldn't drop. A lot of music still hasn't dropped. A lot of dudes that was moving with Drake and needing those Drake features, they not calling Drake no more. You know what I'm saying? It changed a lot of the culture, man. Dizzle, I wish you could have been more involved in the conversation, man, because we really got after it and it was really interactive. I know you probably listened to it, but man, yeah, that was a hell of a conversation last night. Appreciate everybody that tapped into the Kendrick versus Drake 1 year anniversary of that last night, man. We appreciate it. But Dizzle, you already know I'm gonna holler at you later, so I ain't even tripping off that. We gonna wrap, bro.
And Dizzle don't, Dizzle's in the same category we in as far as his team is no longer in the playoffs. Detroit got knocked out, so of course he don't want to discuss the NBA and basketball no more.
Right,
so
right. I told him when the Lakers, hey, KP, I told him when the Lakers went out, it's football season. I'm getting ready for rookie mini camps, OTAs. It'll be training camp in little to no time.
So I understand, Dizzle. I understand.
Yes, indeed.
I share your sentiment.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
But Denver, man, the rest of their team, they actually played well in that game 7, man. Like, it wasn't just a one-man show. They had a balanced attack. And it seemed like they had 6 guys that came to play. But yeah, the Clippers, not so much. But man, we spent enough time on that game, man. There was another game 7.
So just no, hold on. Let's put them to bed. Let's put them to bed the right way. DP, sorry you couldn't be here tonight for us to put the Clippers to bed, right? What'd he say? Hey, we are live.
Mm-hmm.
The Beehive is at SoFi, right? The Clippers got their ass kicked all the way to Ojai. Lakers in 5. But, you know what I'm saying? Like, hey, man, listen. Both LA teams, take your ass home. We got one last hope for California, man. One last hope for California. It's the light-skinned brother, man.
Man.
The light-skinned brother. Wardell Curry. Wardell Curry, man. Wardell Curry. And, man, when they talk about, it's funny. It's actually funny that you had 2 game 7s, right?
Yeah.
You had the Clippers in Denver, game 7. You had Golden State in Houston, game 7. And when we talk about the heart of a champion, right?
Yeah.
That's the epitome of the heart of a champion. Denver showed championship grit. Like, hey man, we gonna get out here, we gonna get after it by any means necessary. And Golden State showed championship grit. Like, we're gonna get out here, we're gonna get after it by any means necessary. Again, Draymond's relationship with the league's front office, the league's officiating, it has to be studied. There will be a 30 for 30 on Draymond's relationship with the league, with the officiating, with Adam Silver, the late great David Stern,
cool.
in his estate. Like, I don't know what Draymond has on the league. That must be studied. We will study that at a later date. There will be a 30 for 30 on Draymond's relationship with the NBA.
And engineers in the building.
But as long as they're allowing him to play the way he plays, it's great for Golden State because he provides something that, you know, a level of toughness that Houston definitely could not match. And I'm looking. So before we even start looking forward to the next series with them in Minnesota, Engineer, top of the top, welcome.
And I'm gonna show some of these comments, man.
I know that he talking about vet move. I know that we didn't go live when Houston tied it up, and you were probably looking like, oh, these motherfuckers here. They don't go live when Houston comes back and ties the series 3-3. But as we lay Houston to rest, these motherfuckers show up live after 5. So, but again, Steph Curry didn't have a great first half.
No, he scored in the last 33 seconds.
Right.
That was 20 points.
So I'm coming back from an AAU tournament. I got my oldest son with me, and I'm like, man, did the game start already? He's like, yeah. So he's telling me, I'm like, what's the score? He said,
hold on 1 second. Before you go into that?
Yeah.
You talked about Draymond Green, right?
Yeah.
And so Scotty Boy said Green literally assaulted Fred.
Absolutely. Yes, he did. He did. And can't get tossed. And they said, look, I think I forgot where I was on Twitter, and somebody was saying something to the effect of, shout out to Draymond for finding a loophole that says a flagrant foul is different than the technical foul, right? So, hey, man, I'm almost out of technical fouls. Let me convert those into flagrant fouls.
Yeah.
Draymond is a menace, bro. Like, that motherfucker is not wrapped too tight. Nunya, top of the top, man. Appreciate you.
Big will become important again at some point in the future. They hucks threes like this forever. Okay, hey, I think he meant they chuck threes like this forever.
They chuck threes like this forever.
But you were saying you were coming back from your son's AAU,
and I'm talking to we riding. I got my oldest son with me as well. I'm like, hey man, is the game on? He's like, yeah. He said the Warriors up. I think the Warriors is like second quarter. He said the Warriors is up maybe 10-12, something like that. And I'm like how much Steph got? He said, man, he got zeros across the board. I said, what?
Yeah.
Y'all motherfuckers up 12 and Steph got zeros across the board? It was already ugly at that point. If you guys cannot hold the Warriors down when Steph is scoreless going damn near in the halftime, it was going to be a bad day, you know. And I know Houston ended up making a push late in the third. I think they cut it to as little as 3 at some point in time.
They did. On a 3-pointer made by Jabari Smith Jr. Yes.
Yeah. So, you know, but all in all, man, once I knew that there was no way that Steph was going to he was going to go out like that. Hey, listen, hey Dizzle, you asking Engineer if he don't rock with Jalen Green. He does not rock with Jalen Green, and I think it was all based on this playoff series.
Yeah, Jalen Green had 6 games of single. Like he's got to be better. He's got to. This game, he was 3 for 8 with 8 points. 3 for 8. Like
maybe it's something in the strip clubs in Houston. I don't know what it is because this is Harden was doing the same thing,
Well,
right?
how do you know Jalen Green goes to the strip clubs?
Because he's married to a or are they married or what's the deal with him and old girl?
Not married.
They got a kid or whatever.
They're in an entanglement.
Okay, an entanglement. Well, hey, again, something about the strip clubs in Houston, man. I don't know, but I think. Remember we talked earlier about Harden and how he got that stench on him.
Yeah,
Jalen Green. Now you have that. People are trying to attach that choke artist type thing to you. You have a chance to go into the off season, work out this summer, get better, and when you come back next year, you can improve the way people see you just based on you know the work you put in and how you look next year in the playoffs. I know there'll be a playoff team because they have championship coaching, right?
yes,
Ime Udoka falls. He comes from that Popovich tree.
absolutely. Glad you said.
So,
I'm glad
and,
you.
shout out to Greg Popovich, who I think is retired. He retired this
Yes,
weekend.
the
So,
he's got the front office job now.
okay, the coaching probably got to him, probably, fucking with
Well,
his heart.
yeah, he suffered a stroke this year, early this season.
That's just probably stress related.
Yeah. Well, he
Yeah, man.
lost his wife a couple years ago.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, oh yeah, you're in Nunya, you're in Massachusetts, right? You're in Boston? Nunya, if you're in Boston, man, I would have it feels like Boston strip clubs is probably hard working 9 to 5s. Chicks that have they hard working 9 to 5ers, and then they come and pick up a couple extra dollars working at the local working.
And at a strip club, dog. What's
Right, it's a pub. It's a
I,
pub.
I'm saying it's Hooters. Yeah, strip clubs in Massachusetts, man. They got Hooters, man.
Oh man.
Out of,
Oh wow. Wow.
they
Damn.
they either got
Ever
big
since,
women with the wide bodies and the strong backs.
the Foxy Lady. It's a hell of a strip club name, man. Ever since Mo Vaughn flipped his vehicle with the Foxy Lady. Okay. Tell us about it, Nunya. That's crazy.
Oh man. And
That's dope.
engineer said, "What choke? You gotta have food in your mouth to choke." Jalen Green did have food in his mouth. He had them damn chicken wings.
Right. Wingstop.
Yeah, them wings from Wingstop.
Yes. The chicken strips. Speaking of the
Absolutely.
chick. Hey man. So I mean, damn, I feel bad for Houston, but again, Golden State, who knew that tonight would be the night that Buddy Hield
Yeah,
would give you a playoff career high 30.
yeah. No,
And
no, no,
then,
no, 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 no. Didn't he hit another three? I don't want to short. Yeah, I don't want to short him. Yeah, 33.
okay,
30. Yeah, 33. My man, Hill Street Blues.
okay,
Give him that Hill Street Blues.
okay.
At first, he was Buddy Hill figure. Now he's Hill Street
Okay.
Blues.
There you go. So, again, shout out to Buddy Hield for being big in that moment. And then obviously, Dizzle says Twin Peaks now, huh? But then being big in that moment, and then you knew that was only a matter of time before Steph Curry came through and just kind of put the icing on the cake, put everybody away, put the kids, put the women and kids to bed. You know what I'm saying? Steph does that. That's what he does.
Yeah,
Well, and Steph may have one. I don't. Again, in my opinion, the quickest releases from three in the NBA. Like nobody gets the shot off quicker than Steph. Or
yeah.
can you think of somebody, Kev?
No, no, I can't.
Okay.
I mean, I would say somebody back in the day, but I still don't know if it was as accurate as Steph. You had
Yeah.
Dana Barros. that got that thing off fast, and that's for old basketball heads that was
Yeah,
really watching the game in the 80s. But
yeah.
nah, man,
So I'm
nobody gets
talking about
it off
Steph.
fast.
I'm talking about especially he's coming off of movement, right?
Yes,
So he's coming off of movement, has to basically stop his body. You know what I'm saying? Square his shoulders and still get it off that quick. And people are hanging on him.
I think you're saying too much. I don't even think he stops his body. He can throw it up, and his body's
Right,
not even stopped.
right. That's true.
He has the eye.
Yeah,
That's
that's true.
he just
That's true.
understands physics. He has the eye, and it's ridiculous.
Yeah, it is.
He hit one with 3 minutes left in the fourth quarter, 2:55 to be exact. Where I was like, this dude is cold blooded.
A menace, a
Yeah,
menace, a
he
menace, a
hit
menace.
right after he hit one. Then Buddy Hill came down and hit one. I was like, oh my god, it's over.
And again, if you look forward to that Minnesota series,
Hold on 1 second.
yeah,
Scotty Boy said Sean Marion has a quicker release. Nah, man. Sean, I don't know what that was.
crane, the
Just-
crane. That was the
yeah,
crane,
I
right?
don't know what that was. That was a young man who never got his shot corrected at a young age. It just kept it because he was super athletic, and they were like, we're gonna deal with
Fuck
it.
it. Yeah, yeah,
Nah.
yeah, yeah. But looking forward to that Minnesota Golden State series,
Hmm.
is there a tough guy in Minnesota that
Yes.
can
Yes.
offset Draymond?
Yes. There is.
Who?
Yes. Julius Randle.
Ah,
Look, man, go back and look at Julius Randle. There's a video when he was with the Lakers. He was a rookie, or he was early in the season. It
okay,
wasn't his rookie year; it was his second year.
okay.
And Kevin Garnett tried to punk him, and he had to bump Kevin Garnett and then get all up in Kevin Garnett's face. And then Kobe Bryant speaks on it afterwards, and he was like, shit, that's Julius Randle. Like, man, what you mean? Like, so he,
They highlight that last one from Scotty Boy. Let's keep it a buck, man. Draymond Green is different, bro. Again,
I don't
he's
know. Man.
Draymond Green is allowed to get away with. Draymond Green is doing shit that Rodman was doing.
I
Right?
I don't think that he's
You know,
stupid.
okay, so I don't know. I know we got a bunch of different folks in here.
Uh-huh.
When Rodman was doing shit, go back and think about Rodman against Sean Kemp, Rodman against Karl Malone. Rodman him and Karl Malone is flailing like fish going up the court, and
Yeah.
Rodman is purposely getting tangled up, falling back down, tickling his butt, like all kind of like weird shit. Just
To
like,
the point where they put him on WWF. We gonna give y'all a wrestling match and let y'all settle this, because I don't know what the hell y'all got going here. Like,
it's one of the craziest interactions ever. Seeing him and Karl Malone flying, and you know Dennis Rodman just throwing his body.
yeah.
Hey, engineer, I literally cannot. That's what he was doing. I don't know if y'all remember that shit. Dennis Rodman was doing.
Hey man, WWF had to wrestle it out, man.
Go back and watch Dennis Rodman. Just if you have a Google or YouTube, go back and watch Dennis Rodman versus Karl Malone. Dennis was in his head, bro. Dennis was in his head, or Dennis Rodman versus Sean Kemp. Like these is in the champion. This is in the finals. Dennis Rodman doing that goofy shit, tickling.
And engineer says Green has a license to assault players. I'd be concerned too if I was playing him.
Of course. So hey, guess who's on the squad? Guess who he has to play against? Rudy Gobert. He done already choked his ass out. He done already choked him out. So you know Rudy on suicide watch for sure.
No, man,
All that tough talk is not gonna fly.
That's why they went and got Julius Randle. They're like, man, we need an enforcer to help with Anthony Edwards. Anthony Edwards can hold his own, but we need another tough guy.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see, man. Hey, listen, I have, if we have to talk about canceling one another out, I really have Golden State winning this series.
For real?
Yeah,
Nah, no way.
absolutely, man. The heart of a champion, bro. The heart of a champion.
So I understand the heart of a champion. Anthony Edwards is now a Kingslayer. And I don't think it stops with right after the Lakers. I think that he's gonna destroy Golden State because Golden State doesn't have any size. That was the same. That was part of the problem with the Lakers. The Lakers, they said, didn't have any size, and Golden State is smaller than the Lakers. So it's not gonna work if Jaden McDaniels is hitting shots. It's gonna be hard to beat
Hey,
Minnesota.
we'll see. And you know what? What I will say is, if we're
Nah,
looking at
well, so
if we're looking at it, Jalen Green is a dog, man. Like
no, I'm
I
not gonna
don't,
say dog. I
I
ain't
don't
gonna
know,
say dog.
I don't know what happened to him in this series, but
Ben Thompson is a dog.
okay,
Jalen, yeah, Jalen
Thompson.
Green.
So again, hear me out. I don't know if I'm as worried because who do you have? I'll give Anthony Edwards this.
Uh huh.
What he has shown is that aging superstars, he takes joy
Oh
in
yeah,
putting them out of the playoffs, right?
yeah, yeah,
Um, Steph Curry is different though. Like what he does to players, he's it's a different brand of basketball. So we'll see, man. It should be an interesting series. I know that the youngsters is rooting for Anthony Edwards again for all he is and everything that we speak about. I just wish that he was more he was mature enough to take on that mantle or to take on that, you know what I'm saying, that mantra as the as the league's the face of the league, the new face of the league, right? He would be a great ambassador to kind of usher in that new age of superstars.
yeah.
But his immaturity off the court and the kind of shit that he does, like he acts like he treats the NBA like the camera's not rolling, like he's playing pickup basketball. Like when you get into these interviews, when you get into these, you know what I'm saying, on the court interviews, behind the scene interviews, interactions with the fans, things of that nature, you have to understand where you are and that this is $1 billion business. And if you're one of the ambassadors, we need you to kind of like, there's a time and place for Anthony Edwards to do the shit that he's doing now. It's when you get to that LeBron stage, when you get to that. Remember Kobe towards the back end of his career, it's like, hey man, I've been the ambassador. I've said all the right things. I've been politically correct. Now I can be the old man that doesn't give a fuck and just
I was
says
about
what
to
he
say
does.
almost like an old person. We got some like you're uncensored. So we
Yeah.
got a couple comments that I want to read. So Scotty Boy said Randall Rudy McDaniel gonna be in foul trouble. Okay, I don't agree with that, but hey, if that's we gonna have to see. And then Nunya says Knicks Celtics gonna entertain. I think everyone thinks we're gonna roll, but I don't know. It could be prime time for a gut check. Uh, Depends on if you guys are hurt or not. Drew Holiday's having some hamstring issues. Jalen Green's knee is bothering him, so they're not the same right now. Scotty Boy made another comment. Draymond gonna get one of them ejected with him. Depends on who it is. And then let me see. Base Gyron. I don't know who this is, somebody new. Welcome
Hey,
to the chat, man.
appreciate you tapping in. Hopefully we saying it right, base
Yeah,
Gyron. And if you haven't already, if you could subscribe, fuck with
absolutely.
us. We definitely appreciate it, man. Please like, share, and subscribe. We truly, truly appreciate all the support. You
And know
did.
that we're always live on Mondays as well. Monday, 10 p.m., 10:30 Pacific Standard Time. Base Gyron said Draymond bum ass gonna get himself ejected after Rudy dunks on him. Ah, okay. So he's on the line of believing that Minnesota can Beat them. Okay, I see you,
All right.
DP. I see you, DP, in the chat.
DP in the chat. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
I'm gonna get to yours.
Let's hear this one real
in
quick. It's
a second.
refreshing to have somebody. It's refreshing to have someone not put on a facade because the cameras are rolling. Hey, again, I hope we saying your name right, Base Gyron. I appreciate that all the way, but at the same time, the league is trying to make him the face of this thing, right? And at some point in time, is it like I want to keep it real, or I want to embrace, you know what I'm saying, being the face of the league and whatever comes with that, right?
Which is
Because
what
you're
DP is saying. Anthony Edwards does not want to be the face of the league.
right,
And
and
that's the same thing that Engineer is saying as well. I
he could see him being the
Oh no,
ambassador because
he's saying, oh no, he's disagreeing. Okay, excuse me.
engineer. I don't know about that. The league, remember, it's still $1 billion business. They have sponsors that they have to answer to, and the negativity probably doesn't play well with the sponsors. Right? It's a game. Listen, being the face of the league is you have to put on that show. It's a game. It's a political game. Steph Curry has done it. LeBron James has done it. Kevin Durant chose not to do it. Right?
Yeah,
And you know,
which
but
is which is what DP is saying right here. He don't care about that button up ambassador shit.
and again, so then we can't get at this. So now what I will say is we can't get mad when the league says, okay, LaMelo Ball, you don't want to be the face of the league. Ja Morant, you don't want to be the face of the league. Anthony Edwards, you don't want to be the face of the league. Hey, Jokic, come be the face of the league. Hey, Luka, come be the face of the league. Hey, Wemby, come be the face of the league. Now you're going overseas. You're going to foreigners and asking them to be the face of an American league because your new stars, the young guys, are too cool to be the face of the league. We can't. I just don't want to. We can't have the complaints about, hey man, like, oh, the NBA is turning into the Euro League. The NBA is turning into a foreign league. No, they're trying to find somebody to embrace being the face of the league, and all of our young stars are saying, like, I'd rather be too real. I'd rather be, somebody that's gonna cuss on TV and say fuck this and fuck that when the cameras are rolling, rather than be the face of the league. So now we'll go to a Luka Doncic. We'll go to a Nikola Jokic. We'll go to a
I don't think that's ever going to happen.
Wembanyama. Who?
I don't think those things are ever going to happen.
Why?
I think the closest thing to a foreigner will be a Canadian, because I just don't see the league going in that direction. I wanted to highlight what Scotty Boy said. He said the league doesn't need a face. They need to move on from that crap. Just promote all the superstars from each team instead of promoting just one player. It's lame.
They just need to face. They need to move on from that. Just move on.
And Engineer says, and he's gonna say Wimby, as I so often like to call him Weeman.
Wembanyama.
Yeah, he says he sees it as Wimby. I don't think that they have the same appeal to the American athletes. To me, I think that's the problem, because you're still trying to sell the game to the Americans as well. Like
Hey,
the overseas people, they'll travel to certain games and come to certain events, but they're not U.S. residents, so they're not going to come to all the games. You need behinds and seats in these arenas, and those are the people here in America.
but
But
what
you
I'm
got to
but what
keep
I'm saying is, what I'm saying is, when Luca in LA, like that tracks, right? You have the it's like Shohei Otani in LA, right? It makes a difference where you are. Um, where I think
wait a minute.
Deal
None you
World
said, dude.
Deal World was talking about. Do y'all know who Jonathan Bender is? You talking about Jonathan Bender used to play for the Indiana
Yeah,
Pacers?
I remember Jonathan Bender.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I remember
That,
Jonathan Bender, and he said Wimby. Nah, this is what Nunya said. Nah, and says that kid got no heart.
What?
Yeah, he said Wimby ain't got no heart.
I don't know, man. Wimby is definitely to be 7'6" and to be able to do the stuff that he does. Uh, that's just crazy to watch sometimes. And
Okay.
he
Okay, so Deal World, he's saying that Jonathan Bender went to his high school. Okay, so Deal World, are you
he
in?
from New Orleans?
No, I thought that was Mississippi. Ain't that
No, no,
Mississippi?
no. I thought he was. I thought he was on. I thought Dilworld was from Louisiana. Oh, DP tapping in.
Building.
Okay. Scotty Boy said Wimby ain't gonna be here too long. He too frail.
Well,
Hey man, if it is, it might be the injuries that get him, man. It might be the injuries that get him. Hey KP, you might need to put DP on stage, man.
yeah.
I don't know.
Okay, you
Okay,
got
okay.
it. Okay, cool. DP said I'm in
Um,
this.
Yeah, man, but I mean, I feel like, hey, Wemby, it is like when you get that tall, you know who I've seen that with Anthony Edwards. I mean, Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis is always injured, some shit with his leg, his knee, his ankle, always lower body shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I understand where you're coming from. KD surprisingly avoided a lot of injuries early, and he has a similar prototype, but his game is more
Perimeter
finesse.
based.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's more finesse. He's not going out there, hanging out amongst the trees. He's not really in the trenches like that. So I can see why KD lasted so long and why a Wimby or a AD. But hey, the way the game is being played right now, is Wimby going to be in the trenches or is Wimby going to be perimeter based at 7'6"?
Yeah, that. So I want to address something. Engineers said the Americans are losing market share in the NBA talent pool. Gonna have to pivot eventually. I I will say this. I respectfully disagree with you, engineer. See, what I believe it is that um, the United States, they want to get the dollars from all these other countries. So what they're doing is they're bringing their players in, and then afterwards they're getting the TV and revenue. They're getting the TV deals and all those contracts set up overseas in all those places, so that the NBA is telecast and broadcast over there. So they understand that they have to take those players so that they can make money in those countries by streaming the games and doing all that other stuff.
But again, so then wouldn't it make it such that having a foreign face of the league would track for the NBA if the NBA is trying to broaden its reach? So if you're an American born player, DP in the building.
Let's cut the bullshit. Okay.
Hey,
I done listened to this shit for too
hey,
long.
hey, listen, DP coming here chewing his food like that one coach that you was interviewing that one time.
Oh
Oh,
yeah.
man, come on, man! Shout out to my guy, man.
Hey, it was a hell of an interview,
My
man.
guy.
Hey man,
It was a hell of an interview too,
hey
by the way.
listen. I had a coach when I was getting recruited in high school for basketball. Motherfucker sound like he was chewing grapes the whole time he talking to me. He was
Stop
like, so
out.
so yeah, what you looking for in the school, man? I was like, what the fuck is this nigga chewing grapes? Like,
Hey, man, he
So
was
what
like,
I was so hold on. So let me finish my point. What I was saying was it tracks that the NBA will want to get a international face of the league, especially when their homegrown American-born superstars are all saying, whether it's directly or indirectly. Ja Morant says, "I'd rather play with guns." Zion Williamson says, "I'd rather play with hoes."
nah, sluts.
ah,
Sluts.
Excuse me.
That's
Zion Williamson says, "I'd rather play with adult actresses." Okay. not sluts, not hoes, adult actresses, professionals, true professionals. Okay.
Let me see your IM.
IMBD, right?
Let me see your IMBD, baby.
You say, hey, look, you got Anthony Edwards. He'd rather play with baby mamas.
Anthony Edwards does not want to be the face of the league.
Deal World says he thinks that Shea could be the face of the league.
Hey, listen, Deal
He's
World.
Canadian, right?
Huh?
He's Canadian, right?
They do not want
thing to a foreigner that would be the face of the NBA.
Yeah, they don't want it
in Canada.
There you go, Nanya. Young professionals. Professionals.
They want somebody domestic here in the United States. And for some odd reason, I don't know what the reason is.
Oh, I think Deal World was asking if he could be.
Okay.
Okay. My
he
bad.
Said, whoa. Hold on.
He said, don't put that on my jacket.
Yeah, like wait a minute, B.
I ain't trying to put nothing in your mouth, dog. Pause. Pause. I think that a Canadian being the face of the league like a Shea, I think that's the closest thing you'll get to an international player. But I was saying, unfortunately, don't seem to want to have Tatum as the face of the league.
Scotty boy.
We talked about that the other day, Scotty boy.
Yeah.
Scotty boy.
Jalen Brown would be more of a face of the league, but we understand why. He's in Boston, and it is what it is. I don't have to say any more than that. He was on 19 Keys. Go check out that interview if you get a chance.
And that's what engineers saying. Jaylen Brown and Kyrie, if not for their opinions on certain matters.
Absolutely.
You think Jaylen Brown would be the face of the league?
He could be coming off the championship, especially coming off that championship run. But he's too politically, and it's not even the funny thing about it is when you think about
Scotty Boy
Jaylen Brown.
Scotty Boy said it.
Yeah, exactly. If you think about Jaylen Brown, he has never been in any kind of trouble. This motherfucker is probably one of the smartest motherfuckers in the league, and for whatever reason, the league has said we don't want it. You're too smart. You know what I'm saying? Like I think they talked about
that was in his interview. That was when he was going through pre-draft camp.
What was it that was it the draft or either they talk about either the draft or the military or something like that where there's a certain type of individual they're looking for, right? I don't know if it was in sports or if it was in the military, but they said like we don't want motherfuckers that's too smart because the motherfuckers that's too smart is the motherfuckers that's going to be always questioning authority. We want the guys. The guys that, hey, listen, man, you give you an order, you follow orders. When you start getting these smart guys in there, the guys that want to question, you know what I'm saying? They talked about that shit with a few years ago, quarterback for, I think he ended up getting drafted by the Miami Dolphins and Drew Rosen out of UCLA.
Oh, yeah.
They said he was too smart for his own good, that he asked too many questions. He questioned coaches on why they were asking him to run certain plays and why they were asking him to get in certain sets.
Listen, man. Just get your ass out there and run the play.
Listen what you're saying.
Hey.
They're like, nah, dog. Nah.
Hey, both them dudes. Jaylen Brown is Muslim too? I know Kyrie is Muslim.
Kyrie, I don't think Kyrie's Muslim. I think he's practices Ramadan and stuff like that. But I don't know if he's Muslim.
What?
No, it's just, hey, man, Christians fast.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, that's true. They do.
So he practices Ramadan.
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, man. Yeah, that motherfucker used to come to games in, what is it? Was it in January or February? They sneaking his ass bananas behind the bench like, son just went down, Kyrie trying to get his first meal of the day. Like, are you just doing that shit for sport? Like, that shit has no religious. Okay. I don't even want to go off the rails right now. You know, I had a couple shots of Henny, so let me keep my. No.
Hey, man, this is what Scotty Boy said.
You had a couple shots of what? Recall, we are not sponsored by
We're not.
anyone. You had a couple shots of something in your cup
Hey, listen, I had a
until they
couple.
decide.
Scotty boy, they
I'm
were
fucking-
fake Muslims.
We going off the rails. Let's bring
Hey,
this shit back to the.
we are. Listen.
We're officially off the rails.
Yeah. Right. I did not have sexual relations with that woman. Back to the script. Anthony Edwards does not want to be the face of the league.
I remember that shit too. Hey, Nunya, remember when Kyrie came through when he first came back and he was burning sage? he was walking through TD Garden. He was walking through TD Garden, burning sage, trying to get all the bad juju out. Kyrie don't give a fuck, man. Hey, man. All the shit that I've been saying has been holding true, though, DP. Remember, all the people that got that bad juju on them.
Mm-hmm.
Durant, James Harden.
Mm-hmm.
Who else was in that? Jumping ship and going from team to team, that little weird shit. Oh, Dame Lillard. Man, he's another one that entered the chat. Like, remember, it was so funny to see Dame Lillard when he was in Portland. And he was like, "Hey man, I'm riding. I'm riding or dying with Portland. And for all y'all that don't believe, y'all stay on that side. And when we finally do it, I don't want to hear y'all motherfuckers jumping ship." He said, "You know what, man? I can't work this slave ship no more." He took off, went to Milwaukee, and the shit fell apart immediately. Man, it's crazy how this shit works, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, it takes a little bit of everything for you to become a champion. Like, even Toronto getting there, is that their only championship ever?
Yes.
It took Kevin Durant to get his first ever catastrophic injury and followed up by Klay Thompson having a catastrophic injury for Toronto to win the championship. But at the end of the day, years from now, nobody will give a fuck. It will say Toronto Raptors NBA champion. What was the GM at the time? Remember, he ended up getting into it with security. Like, hey, the greatest GM in Toronto history. Gosh, what is his name?
You talking about the African guy, right?
Yeah. Masari. Shit. Anyway, let me not butcher his name.
Yeah.
So again, it takes a lot, man. They try to put together these super teams. Even the era of putting together super teams is not guaranteed anymore. You talk about last. We had a few. Thank you. Ujiri. I think his first name starts with an M. But you talk about Boston, first super team that ever got assembled, right? You got that Boston team with Paul Pierce, Ray Allen.
That was the first super team to ever get assembled.
Yeah. Who was before that?
Are you talking about with trades and free agents or what? What are you talking about?
Yeah, like when they brought
the
together,
Lakers always have super teams.
That's what I'm about to say. Like, the Lakers always had squads. Boston had.
No, but I'm talking about when the era of the super teams, right? So you have the first one I remember is Boston. Hey, Scotty boy, I was trying to get to that. They didn't let me walk into it. That was 3 days.
I'm wondering what you're doing.
Hold on. That was
you slipping and sliding. Like, who was it? Amon Thompson?
No.
Which one got broke by Jalen Brunson?
But hear me out. It was
sliding.
That was the first super team I can remember. But even then, they were all they were all past their primes. So they won one ring. The next super team that I think got put together was that Lakers team failed.
Watch your mouth. Oh, okay. Go ahead.
He said Bird, Miguel Parrish.
Yeah, I'm saying
were they traded to the team?
No. Okay.
I'm talking about I'm talking about constructing a super team where you're trading
Okay, well,
for guys,
that's
you're bringing guys on.
In the Lakers in 2004, the 2003-2004 season.
Oh, I'm sorry, I flipped that. I said Boston first, but it was actually the Lakers. Why the fuck did I say that? It was the yak that I was drinking. But
Okay.
so you had the Lakers,
Okay, he's
right?
cooking.
So you have the Lakers. You have the Lakers first,
what
right?
is he
They had
cooking,
it
engineer?
was hold on. It was a super team, but they were over the hill. So that team with Gary Payton and Karl Malone, they never won a championship. They made it to the finals. They didn't win a championship. The next one was that Boston team. They made it to two championships. They won one, lost one to Kobe and the Lakers. They beat the Lakers, lost to the Lakers. The next one was that Miami team, right? So now you're seeing the evolution of the super team where it's like, okay, you got the Lakers one, they made it to a finals. You got the Boston one, they actually won the finals. Then you have Miami, they actually won two championships. Then you have Golden State, they won 2 championships when they brought in Kevin Durant. That was it. After that, now everybody is chasing a super team, and the rest of them have all failed. There hasn't been a super team since that Golden State super team with Kevin Durant that was put together that actually succeeded. The rest of these shits, you have a bunch of stars, the James Harden, Damian
What about
Lillard.
the Lakers? What about the Lakers in 2020? LeBron,
Stop. Come on, man, stop.
Dwight Howard.
No, stop it, man. Stop.
The Lakers in 2020 with who?
LeBron, AD, Dwight Howard.
What you sipping? I thought you don't drink, man. What are you talking about?
Well, here's the thing. When you mentioned Boston, you started off by saying that they were past their prime. So that's why I mentioned the Lakers in 2020, because Dwight Howard was past his prime.
Kevin, KP, I'm sorry. Your name stamp isn't up. KP. Nobody looked at that Lakers team as a super team.
You got to stop.
Stop the cap.
So Scotty Boy, the only reason they were a super team is because they brought in Kevin Durant. They were able to bring him in as a loophole free agent, but that he was not homegrown. He was not homegrown. That's. Do you guys disagree that was a super team, or do you guys think that
Warriors?
That the Warriors?
Yeah.
If they're healthy, they're unbeatable. Yeah.
They literally caused LeBron to miss out on at least a couple championships.
Well, listen, according to Rich Paul, Miami didn't have a super team.
We're not talking about Rich Paul right now.
According to him,
Scotty
it
Boy,
was only
Scotty Boy, you
LeBron
said that
and Wade.
You built that. They built that team through the draft, and they had to deplete their bench to get Durant. Do you think it was worth it to deplete their bench to get Durant?
Absolutely.
And do you think Golden State would do that shit all over again if they had the opportunity to?
Wait, what do you mean? Was it worth it? If they won a championship,
yes,
is it not worth it? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So what do you mean? What is that question? Is it worth it?
I'm saying he basically said they built that team through the draft. It became a super team when they depleted the rest of the roster and brought in Kevin Durant. That's when it became a super team. And you could have put anybody else on that bench. You had Kevin Durant, you had Steph Curry, you had Klay Thompson, and you had Draymond Green. And shit, for what it's worth, Kayvon Looney. Anybody else could have filled out the roster.
Wait. Are you were including Looney as part of the?
I'm saying that Looney did all did what the
okay.
Work,
I got you.
I'm gonna get all the rebounds and kick it out to my to the star players. Draymond was definitely
right. They still had Iguodala.
Did they? Oh, yep. They still had Iggy.
Yeah.
So again, gutting the team. They let go of Harrison Barnes. They had to let go of Harrison Barnes. Harrison Barnes was half the reason why they got beat by Cleveland when they were up 3-1. He didn't show up in the finals. So Harrison Barnes was definitely expendable. Harrison Barnes is still playing good basketball.
Playing basketball. He's playing basketball. Yes,
Yeah, I would say Andrew Wiggins was like the upgraded version of a Harrison Barnes.
yes, he's still in the league. Yes. Uh,
I feel like Scotty Boy is complaining.
No, he just saying, well,
Scotty
well,
Boy, you
well,
know, I
well,
mean,
maybe he is because of the aftermath after Durant was gone.
oh, he's saying that they had Spates
Yeah, Spates was cool.
but again,
and we
But
lost.
to bring Durant, it took a lot, right? But and
it was
then it's cool.
worth it.
It's cool when you're winning, you get the championships. But then the aftermath, everybody is in the now. Everybody is like, it was all
But,
good just a week ago, and then now, bam,
but,
here we
no,
are, and it's
but
like,
what I'm saying is they regrouped, they rebuilt the team, and they went back and won a championship without Durant. So when I'm trying to understand when Golden State fans were not happy. At what point in time was the Durant trade, or not even the trade, but the Durant signing a negative? You guys went and won 2 championships, made it to 3 finals, won 2 out of 3 finals. If not for 2 catastrophic injuries, you guys would have went 3 for 3 in the finals. You guys lost Durant. He went on his journey. You guys have been better off without him.
I like what Nunya just said. You definitely need when you do that, when you go for the mega stars, you gotta look for, you know, the vets, the old wily vets who still got,
Bro,
something to prove and got a little something in the tank. So
And
yeah,
that's on that's
that's
basketball, that's
you
football. Yeah,
gotta,
absolutely.
you
You talk about the Belichick model. Absolutely. That's the same thing, whether it's football or basketball. I'm
Yeah.
not a big baseball fan, so I don't really, want to go into, I don't know that, but I would assume it's the same thing in baseball or most sports. Yeah, you pay your big time guys, and then you got to fill that roster out with a bunch of veterans and cheap priced great player or good players that can, kind of.
yeah, well, one
Go ahead, Kev.
team.
I'm sorry.
I'm
What?
saying you go and pick you up a couple players from Ross or Marshalls. You can
Oh, look,
then you go and get a player from Ross.
Right.
y'all know one team that's been kind of lucky at building, and this is the second time around, with the exception of bringing
Oh,
Shea
I'm not
Gilgeous-Alexander around.
KC. Yeah,
It's OKC. They had 3 MVPs on the roster. Hindsight being 2020.
that they
But
draft.
if they would have kept, you know, Russell Westbrook, Harden, Durant, who knows what would have happened with them? And now they built another roster with young players. And like I say, the only real main guy is SGA, and they got him from the Clippers, who just
Hey,
have a knack for tricking shit off. But
DP,
it is what it is. Yeah.
are they? Would you consider OKC underachievers based on the success they've had with both drafting and acquiring players? Because they've knocked it out the park the last 15 years or shit. How long have KD, Russ, and Harden been in the league? Because even going back to drafting those players, they've been knocking it out the park as far as drafts, acquisitions, for seemingly 2 decades now, and they have nothing to show for it.
I would say this, and yes, Nunya, Derek White is
None. Yeah,
ridiculous with it.
I'm trying to ignore you
Um,
saying that Boston shit, and we Laker fans over here.
yeah. Well, speak
We
for
fuck with
yourself.
you, though.
Speak
Yeah.
for yourself. I'm
Oh,
not a Lakers
now,
fan.
now, DP, you wasn't on earlier. We put the Clippers to bed, right? I told him we had to change the. We're live. The Beehive is at
No, no,
SoFi.
no, 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 no,
Beehive
no,
is
no,
still at SoFi.
no. Tell me what your shit was. Tell me what your shit
Yeah,
was.
Hold on. So
Go ahead. I need to hear this.
We are live, right? We are live. The Beehive is definitely still at SoFi. The Beehive been there for 4 days, right? The Clippers got their ass kicked all the way to Ojai. Lakers at 5, man.
I think okay. I'm
We put
gonna
their ass
stick.
to bed,
I'm gonna
man.
stick with. We are live. The SoFi has the Beehive.
Absolutely.
The Clippers were a surprise. Lakers at 5.
Lakers at 5, man.
QCBP.
Lakers at 5.
Hey
Oh
man,
man, I'm telling you.
Yeah, no, yeah, it's all in good fun. It's
it's
all
past
Absolutely.
11. They sent the Clippers to heaven,
Heaven.
but it took them 7. Lakers in 5.
Lakers in 5, man. Lakers in
engineer
absolutely.
said OKC is a case study of amazing drafting, but ain't no one want to be there. Yeah,
I
Well,
don't think it's that.
he said here.
I don't think it's that.
So Bong, let me answer your question. You asked me were they underachievers. Um, I would say no, and the reason why is because they'll be on the cusp of doing it, and then they'll break shit up. So the same shit happened with, you know, Durant and Harden and Westbrook. If they keep this team together because they're cooking, they got there. Those 3 got there, and then they just, you know, broke the shit apart. If they break it apart, we'll never know. But if they keep them together and they don't win, I wouldn't say after not winning this year that they're underachievers. If they come back next year and don't win, then maybe you start the underachiever talk.
Now, Scotty boy, sound like you hating, man. He said, I mean, it's easy to knock it out the park with 31st round picks. Somebody's got to give those picks to you,
Hey,
right?
I
I
always
mean,
talk
that's
about the draft capital picks, the draft capital trades. It
yeah,
worked.
yeah.
It
I
works
mean,
out for them.
somebody's on the other end of that. Like, hey, man, we'll take on Paul George and give you what the fuck did they get for Paul George?
it was like I want to say 5 first-round picks. It was
I
3,
mean,
5, and Shea.
was it
Man,
SGA,
Yes,
formerly of the Clippers?
yes.
yeah, man. Listen, let's move right along.
Um,
Uh, that looking back on that, it's like what the fuck.
yeah.
What they talk about the con. If you walk into the room and you can't spot the con, nigga, it's you being conned.
You conned me.
By a common
What was that?
by a common Harlem hoodlum.
Hoodlum killed by common Harlem hoodlums. Hey,
Oh
look,
man.
hey, that's right. Look, Deal World, a 30-22 first rounder for Paul George. That's the type of shit they be on. Like,
Oh shit.
motherfuckers gonna be flying around like the Jetsons and shit, and they still gonna be getting picks from the Clippers.
That's funny. And
Yeah.
see what engineer said?
Kawhi and SGA would have been epic. What?
No.
Where's
Hard
engineer?
left OKC discovered clubs and
Oh,
the most elite offensive machine for half a decade.
Yeah.
hey man,
Except in the playoffs.
Yeah. Yeah.
had
Except
him
in the closer.
like Tony Montana in the club,
And
Yeah.
mesmerized.
Scotty boy, so is DP. So is DP.
Man.
I'm so mad at the Clippers. They should have never traded SGA. Yeah,
And
that. Well, I mean, but it's easy to say, Scotty boy. I'll say this: it's easy to say that because we know what the result is now, right? But everybody was saying, you talking about super teams. Everybody was talking about, oh, you got Kawhi, and it was just the talk about those two. You got Kawhi and you got Paul George. Those are the top two-way players in the league. The Clippers about to turn this around, like, and then what? So it was great expectations. They are probably, I mean, shit, I can't even think if you were talking about biggest underachievers, they got to be up on that list.
Hey, DP.
I don't think anything. I think the Portland Trailblazers are the
They
big
they're
like
no,
like
they're up there for
the
sure up there.
90s, like through the 90s and again in the early 2000s.
Nah, that team, I give you that team when they had the Lakers down
Yeah,
with Pitt when Pippen went over
but,
there.
but
That
that
one for sure.
but that night that 89 team, or what was not 89, excuse me, that
The 90.
90 and 92 both made it to the championship. One lost to Detroit, the other lost to Chicago. So that team as well, they couldn't get over the hump. And then and then the early 2000s with Scottie Pippen and all of them, Rasheed Wallace, Bonzi Wells. Yeah, they just
Hey,
didn't get
Nunya.
eh,
None yet. Miami proved this to be
No, no.
incorrect if you're talking about a bunch of stars, and the reason that happened was because Chris Bosh was willing to take a back seat and play a reduced role, and Dwayne Wade, as the franchise player of the league, was willing to let LeBron, who was the face of the league, come through and do what he
Who was
needed to
willing to
do.
let LeBron actually do LeBron type things and be a sidekick to LeBron and go out
Correct.
there and win a couple championships. But
Agreed.
to your point as well, that's the reason why and that's the reason why I said earlier, a lot of these super teams since Miami was, or excuse me, Golden State was the last super team, and similar to Miami, similar to similar to Miami, the talent was so immense. You have Dwayne Wade, who's a 30 point a night guy. You have LeBron, who's a 30 or maybe a 28, 10, and 7 type of guy. And then you have a Chris Bosh, who's a 20 and 10 type guy. The talent was so immense that it was almost impossible for them to not win at least one. Golden State, we may never see a collection of talent like that um, complement one another so well again in NBA history. To have the greatest shooter ever in Steph Curry with one of the top 4 or 5 offensive players ever in Kevin Durant with a spot up shooter in Klay
Yeah,
Thompson on
and he
the same
did the
fucking
same
team.
thing. He did
They-
the same thing that Durant did. I mean that Wade did.
who
Curry.
yeah, yeah, well,
Curry was in that same spot, and the reason why that worked was had a lot to do with Curry.
it again, we talked about this before you got on, that because Curry is so unselfish, his game literally complements any NBA star you could think of. There aren't many stars that can't work well with Curry because even though he can get his own shot, he doesn't demand the ball. Think about LeBron. Think about Harden. Think about all these Ant Edwards. Think about SGA, Luca. All these guys have to have the ball in their hand at all times in order for the offense to go. Steph Curry is one of the few that, hey man, I'll just run around. I'm chasing, these motherfuckers chasing me around screens and all this other shit. Get it to me in a spot and I can let that shit go. Or if I need to, I can go and create my own shot. But what works well for you, and I'll compliment that. That's the reason him and Jimmy Butler are working now,
Well,
right?
Anthony Edwards would be the one that I would say may question that, because I mean you just saw, yes, you need him to cook consistently win, but he's also had other people come through, like Cat was also putting in work, who's considered another young star in this league, who's now in New York and is cooking, and then now you have who's supposed to be the guy replacing Cat in Julius Randle, and they can win because Anthony Edwards is gonna do other stuff when his game when his offensive game is not rocking. So he can blend with other guys too, even though he is that front man, so to speak. Like he's the Curry of his team, or the superstar of his team. But it may not be looked at as being as unselfish as a Curry. He may not have that unselfish tag, but he does affect the game in different ways, and that shit allows him to do other shit when his offensive game ain't on. That works well with other people.
and
But
Nunya was saying some stuff, man, and you guys were wrapped up in your comments and the conversation was flowing, so I didn't want to interrupt, but I'm going to pull up some of his stuff that he was saying. Um, he said, I've always thought you can't throw a bunch of stars together to win. You guys need to play well together and for each other. That was the first thing he said. The next thing he said,
Yeah, that's why we started talking.
yeah,
for example, well, I'm going into what he said. For example, the Detroit Pistons team that my Celts battled against, they were hard to beat.
Oh, for sure. Like, I
He
mean,
gave the example.
Well. Who's the bunch of stars on the Detroit?
No.
he's saying that it wasn't a bunch of
He said
stars.
it wasn't a bunch of stars.
Okay, so back
And
to my original point. Kevin Garnett, Paul Pierce, and Ray Allen were also they were past their primes, right? So yeah, like Kevin Garnett was not the guy that he was in Minnesota. Had you had a prime Kevin Garnett in Boston, a prime Paul Pierce, and a prime Ray Allen, the motherfuckers would have went on a legendary run.
Okay.
But we're talking about, so when they saw Detroit, that team was they did okay. That Boston team did what they were supposed to do. They won a championship. They won one. And I promise you, the only reason they won the one that they did, no bias at all, is because that was the year that Paul Gasol came to the Lakers halfway through the season.
didn't have no. That wasn't that. It was Andrew Bynum got hurt, and they didn't have him in the finals, so they couldn't go big. And they didn't have the flexibility of going with a big lineup with Gasol, Bynum, and Odom, or going with a small lineup of Gasol, Odom.
Right.
They didn't have
Call it what you want. They got their win. And that was the climax. Anything is possible. Yeah. But I agree with you 100%, Nunya. That's why the super teams now are failing.
Was that post or pre Afro Bynum?
That was damn. That was pre Afro Bynum.
Pre Afro Bynum.
Yeah.
Afro Bynum came
at the gray hairs.
Yeah.
Hey, but anyway, the reason that the super teams aren't working now is because a lot of it is players that are saying like, hey man, I talked to this person at All-Star weekend. I want to get with this guy. Like, hey man, I want to play with this guy. I want to play with that guy. And we're not even looking at it from a team building standpoint. Like, do you guys fit? LeBron sat down, had the fucking audacity to say that him, AD, and Westbrook got together over a glass of wine and said that they'll make it work. How? Which one of y'all motherfuckers can consistently shoot the three?
Wait, you said LeBron, AD, and who?
Russell Westbrook. Remember when Westbrook came to LA and they were like, hey man, we sat there, like they put that together outside of the GM of the Lakers, right? Players need to get back to allowing
Westbrook
GMs.
was the problem for that team, but
the players need to get back to letting GMs.
He became the scapegoat for that team.
And we talked about that before you got on, DP. We talked about that before you got on as well.
That Westbrook was the scapegoat or the problem? Which one?
That we talked about how he took a lot of
when they got him, they put they decided to put Westbrook in the corner and they wanted him to shoot.
Yeah, which wasn't his strength. So that was a coaching decision.
Yeah.
And you see now, like he's willing to take a back seat and do some dirty work. Like he's been doing that for years and probably would have done it for the Lakers too. So on that note, the Lakers dropped the ball with that, and so did the Clippers. The Clippers really dropped the ball with that shit.
I think a lot of teams misuse Russ, and it affected how he plays the game. I think it really took a toll on his confidence. He's not the same player that he was with OKC, and it was evident as soon as he left. Like, man. And I was telling KP about how, you remember DP, how Skip Bayless used to come in when he played for the Lakers and show all the Russell Westbrook lowlights and put the clown music every game. Him and Shannon used to do that shit to Russell Westbrook all the time, bro. And I'm sitting there like, damn, man, it's a cold game. Like, y'all doing this shit. You know what I'm saying? Y'all doing this shit like
to a former
come on, man.
MVP,
like,
man.
MVP, a former dude that averaged a triple double. Like,
and KP, I was telling you that the Clippers messed up by letting Westbrook go as soon as they did that shit early in the year. And I saw the post that you put up on Instagram, because I told y'all, remember, Bong, when we were talking, I think a couple weeks ago, I said, imagine if the Clippers still had Westbrook, what they would be doing right now, based on what he's doing with Denver.
Yeah,
Like,
but
and then
we literally had this conversation.
and KP took it a step further. Y'all talked
Yeah.
about Dunn. Like,
Yeah,
what
absolutely.
the
We had
fuck?
that conversation. Yeah, bro, we just had that conversation. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey,
Hey, I'm looking behind me, man. This
I was
motherfucker
late to
Shannon
the
Sharp and the
party.
Lakers.
I'm sorry.
Look, Shannon Sharp and the Lakers got me stuck on his Lakers in 5. Look at that shit above me. Punk ass Lakers. Got their ass tossed in 5. Get your ass out.
Lakers
Anyway,
in 5.
Lakers in 5. Man, but yeah, so I mean we wrapped a little bit. We talked about Clippers game 7. We talked about Golden State game 7. We didn't really talk too much about Cleveland game 1. Motherfuckers then gave
we
up
didn't talk about Cleveland.
home court advantage. Home court advantage in first game. And this motherfucker Halliburton dad somewhere like, I told y'all motherfuckers.
Listen. What did I say about Cleveland though?
I'm still on the
Road to Damascus.
Yeah, I'm still in Damascus.
I know. I'm saying. Listen, I'm not going. They have a chance, but I did ask y'all, would you be surprised if they were the team to lose? No, Pacers ain't winning the chip, engineer. You no. Bong must have passed you that cup to let you take a sip of that.
A little bit of that brown. A little bit of that brown.
Nah, man. What I think though. Oh, okay. So, and Scotty Boy said, "Man, F Cleveland, freaking bums. You must have lost a parlay on them." And you said they'd be there. That's what Nunya said. So, I did say that they'll be there. I still say that they're going to be there. They were playing without their starting guard tonight.
That Cleveland's going to be there.
Yeah, I still think that Cleveland's going to make it to the championship. Yeah, they were playing with their start. They were playing without Darius Garland. Darius Garland missed his 3rd straight game with his toe. He should be cleared to play in the next game.
But you know why that hasn't been highlighted?
Damn, ain't no way, Scotty Boy. Ain't no fucking way. Ain't no way.
Wow.
Ain't no way. Ain't no way.
Hey, what was the payout on that one, Scotty Boy? What was the payout? But hey, KP.
Yeah.
You know why that wasn't highlighted?
Why?
Because it goes back to what I was telling y'all. That first round shit wasn't no test for Cleveland. Miami was not a real test.
Because they were a 10 seed.
Exactly. Not just because of that, just because of how they were playing.
A 17 leg parlay is diabolical.
Yeah, and if that shit comes through, I'm interested in knowing. Okay, because he went light.
On a 17 leg? Hell, oh, okay. He probably
he said he went light.
Money line. No, it's probably
just give me the light.
Just give me the light. Nah, but it wasn't. Cleveland wasn't a test, man. KP, just because whatever they were having problems with the heat culture this year, it ain't so hot. So, it wasn't really clicking for them. And I told y'all, hey, they were a 10th seed for a reason, and you wasn't really going to see if Cleveland was the real deal until this second round series.
But but in that game though, in the Indiana game, they shot well. Like they shot 52% from 3. Technically 53% because it's 52.8. They hit 19 threes. Cleveland shot 24% from 3. They also shot 53% from the field. So they, in addition to everything, they had a really good shooting day.
Could go 7.
And what's Donovan Mitchell? Donovan Mitchell getting 30 some odd points on 30 shots. It's just he took too many shots.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Mobley had the quietest 2010 game I've seen, and he had 2010. He shot 13 shots, was 9 for 13 from the field. He should have got more touches. He should have got the ball more. It just Donovan was 1 for 11 from 3. It was just a bad night. And even within that bad night, they still put up 112 points. So, yes, they did lose the game, but I don't think it's the end of the world, and I don't think it's going 7 games.
It could.
I think that they still gonna beat them.
Hey, I also told y'all that the Pacers are a team.
Yeah,
The Pacers play well together. The Pacers are like one of those teams that Nunya was talking about earlier.
Detroit.
It's not a bunch of stars on that
Yeah,
motherfucker. They just play well together.
yeah.
So you can't count them out, man. And when you get John Halliburton back in the building, when they lift that band, motherfuckers better watch out.
Pop's back in the building.
Yeah, he coming with his own version of the terrible towel.
With a vengeance too.
Right. So
Oh my God.
He might run up in the president of the team face too.
Exactly. Yeah. I was just looking through him. I wasn't looking at him. I was looking through him.
That's still the craziest thing I've heard.
Yeah, there go Nunya saying best kind of team. So Nunya, would you agree that the Pacers are one of those teams? The Pacers are like, they're just gonna grind it out. Halliburton is leading the charge, but he's the type of guy that is a distributor, so he's getting everybody involved, and then he can score too. As funny as his shot, funny as that shot is, and you want to talk about it, the shit is going in.
I think
60% from the field, and
I think
yes,
this is a superstar league, and you need superstars to win games. I'm all for the whole team thing. Boston was a great team that just won the championship last year. But guess what? They had 2 superstars. So if one didn't play well, the other one was going to play well to go along with the role players. You cannot, the last teams that I can remember where it was a collection of just a bunch of teams, a bunch of players that weren't all great, that won the championship. You have to go back to the Greg Popovich Spurs era and the Detroit line and the Detroit Pistons. I know. So, that was around.
Are we not going to say that because there was only one guy on the Maverick squad?
He was a star.
But he had a superstar.
He was a superstar.
Okay, so the team can't have one at all, is what you're saying.
Yeah, he's saying. Yeah,
and Halliburton's not a superstar.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying Halliburton's a star. I'm saying that Dirk doesn't count because
he's a
superstar. You can't have one and
no, like that Detroit, like that Detroit team. That Detroit team, I think Rip Hamilton ended up winning Finals MVP. Chauncey Billups, thank you. Sorry, Chauncey Billups won the Finals MVP, averaged like 15 or 16 points in the finals. Y'all know I have my own conspiracy theories about that. Kobe Bryant was coming off of fighting that rape, or he was actively fighting that rape case, and he was unlike Ant Edwards. He wanted to be the face of the league. The NBA could not have him be the face of the league. I don't know if you remember what Kobe was in LA at that time. We were lauding Kobe as a superhero because he would get on a private jet, fly from Denver, come and drop 40 in a playoff game. And I don't think the league was willing to allow Kobe to be the face of the league. And that's why Detroit won that championship. There were a lot of questionable calls. I won't go into details, but it was because the league did not want to have Kobe as the face of the league actively fighting a rape case. The reason why the Detroit Pistons won that championship, and it was the only championship they won. Again, like Boston, it was about being there at the right time. All the stars aligned. Kobe Bryant's fighting his legal battles. Detroit, thank you. From the Lakers, you know what I'm saying? You're welcome. From the Los Angeles Lakers, Detroit, you're welcome.
Did y'all talk about Popovich stepping down?
Nah. I was
we glanced over it, vaguely. We shouted out Greg Popovich because we were talking about Ime Udoka being from the Popovich tree, and how I believe Houston is going to be around for a long time. Engineer was, he went on a rant talking about how Jalen Green ain't shit, but And I told him that he
Jalen
has
Green
this
been
summer.
consistent, man.
He has this summer to work on his game and take the stench off of him that people have on him
He
now because of his playoff performance. Because they will be a playoff team next year because they have championship coaching in Ime Udoka.
Jalen Green at this point needs a if he's going to be the one, he needs a consistent two. If he's more of a two, he needs a consistent one. And I'm talking about perimeter scorer, not Sengun. I'm talking about like guard play. He needs another guy that could, so they can be a 1-2 punch. Because right now it's just he has the ability, but he's just too inconsistent.
That's what I'm talking about, Wayne. Uh-huh.
Hey, engineer, I knew I was gonna wake you up with that one. You say Jalen can get that stench off in the trade package.
Hey, and then he'll be cooking somewhere else, man.
Hey, engineer. Now, after game 6, I wish you would have went live after game 6 to see what you to check the temperature in the room, how you was feeling that day, because I know you was on cloud 9 thinking y'all had a chance.
Engineer probably would have played it cool, like I need to see game 7.
Yeah.
I'm smelling the nail polish remover right now. I need to see game 7.
And that's what Scotty Boy's talking about.
Yeah, I know. That's why I said that.
Hold on,
Yeah.
hold on.
Yeah, man. But
Hold on. Let me put these comments up right there.
Hey, man.
hey, man.
Hey, he said he knew it was
You
fool's
knew it was
gold, man.
fool's gold, man. That's crazy.
You did. He did say that, man.
They're young. They're young.
Well,
They're young.
they have a hell of a coach, though.
They
They
do.
do.
They do.
Yeah,
And
he's I forgot. I think it may have been UKP if it wasn't my brother. I was talking about whether Steve Kerr was elite. Like, is Steve Kerr an elite coach?
we talked
And
about
then
it in here.
it was my brother.
We talked
So
about it in here too, though.
No, but I'm saying I'm about to say what
Okay.
he said about Udoka. He brought him up when I said I asked him. I said, "Hey, man, would you say Kerr is elite right now?" And he was just like, "It's hard to argue because of his accomplishments, right? So you look at his resume, and it's like, how can you not say that he's elite?" But then he said, "But just truthfully looking at it, the way you work with what you got, Ime Udoka is an elite coach,
And
and
there
as
has
far as
to
he's
be about
concerned."
is the assistants. We had 10 challenges this series, all were unsuccessful.
Yeah, that's
Last
terrible.
one that you challenged today was a bad challenge, and Ime Udoka tried to fight it off.
Rescinded.
Oh, we don't want the challenge, and
Right.
it was too late.
It was too late. Absolutely. I saw that. Funny thing is, again, when you're
Hey,
turning around,
he need to do the JJ Redick and not
when
listen to assistants as that one reporter was insinuating.
when you're trying to turn around a roster, a franchise, you got to remember. I think the first year Ime Udoka was there, they won like 30 something games, right? So this is the next step in that progression. This kind of reminds me of the Mark Jackson Warriors. I just hope that they let Ime Udoka take this shit to the finish line. You know what I'm saying?
I think they will.
So Nunya just said something. Kerr did Tatum dirty on the Olympic team, an elite coach wouldn't shame his star for no reason. I want to comment on that. So first,
No,
Oh, he shamed them because
so,
Boston.
so I will
Go ahead.
beyond the inner working in politics and inner beefs that they may have had.
right?
First, I want to start off by saying after tonight, I believe that Kerr is an elite coach. I think he's an elite level coach based on the adjustment that he made tonight for them to dominate the game in the fashion that they did. Um, Second, in terms of Kerr not playing Tatum on the Olympic team, The problem the problem is the way that Tatum plays. Tatum doesn't play well when he has to play off the ball and be one of the guys, and there's another star, and that's what
You know,
huh?
on that type of team, that's out the window.
Yeah, what that
On that type of team,
him being the star?
that's out the window, dog.
Yeah, like
On that no,
what?
on that type of team, on that USA team, that is out the window. They should be able to win with Jason Tatum playing also. I don't give a fuck if you're saying he's not a good, if he doesn't assimilate well with other stars or don't play off the ball. That's bullshit.
I'm saying
I think it was.
He
I think
takes bad shots. He
So what?
It's
what? Okay,
on that USA basketball team.
I think it was a game. It was one in particular game, and there was a. I think it was a lineup thing where the other whoever they were playing.
No.
Okay, I mean, listen.
I saw him struggling against Rudy Gobert in the post. He was like, help.
Hey, you know what? Then he shouldn't be playing against Rudy Gobert in the post. That's a coaching thing. There's no excuse for not playing him, dog. The only thing, in KP, we said this. They won, so it's like when shit like that happens, it's like, hey man, we won. What you mad at? Come on, dog. They could have won with him playing also. Like that's no fucking.
If Tatum would have assembled,
and I'm a little upset you sitting up here trying to make an excuse for Kerr because you had a revelation tonight for whatever he did with the Warriors. Now he's well within his rights and just for not playing Tatum on the USA team. What the fuck? You know what? I don't even know why I stepped in this bitch. You know, hey, 2 pieces in the bong still rolling. DP out.
I felt like this in the summer. This dude mic drop. This dude mic drop. All right. Anyhow, I felt like this in the summer. If Tatum would have came,
KP still on that bullshit.
Absolutely.
He's still on that bullshit, y'all. I'm sorry, chat. I'm sorry,
wild as hell, bro.
If Tatum would have came in shooting the ball,
1 P in the bong.
Like he would have simple like what's the guy's name? My man, Drew Holiday. If he would have taken on that kind of role, he would have played more.
He didn't get the opportunity to.
He didn't.
What the fuck? He didn't get the opportunity to do anything except for get motherfuckers high fives and some water.
Hey man, and he was good at it. They won.
But you sitting up here trying to make it like Kerr. Oh, I understand why he didn't play him. Nah, dog.
Well, I do understand why he didn't play him.
Nah, that's BS.
Games, it was clear why he didn't play him.
Well, it's BS.
Because he was playing him as a 4 and he couldn't play post defense.
Then don't play him as a 4.
He wasn't getting accurate on the defensive side on the perimeter, and he wasn't knocking down shots.
Hey man, listen, they won, so you can make your points because they won. That's the only thing I'm saying. Because they won, you can say whatever, and everybody will turn to me like, hey man, they won. What you talking about? At the end of the day, that is bullshit. You go over there. Let me say this, Bong. You go over there, and y'all had the face of the league conversation earlier. Mm-hmm. Like, even if you were trying to push Tatum to be the face of the league, Kerr put the smash on that shit with the way he treated him there anyway. So it's like, is that how you treat your stars and the people that you're trying to build, as top guys in the league? Like, it was bullshit.
Well, Tatum Brown didn't go.
Yeah,
well, that's another story.
I'm talking to engineer. Nunya, you said you're coaching outlier. Would you guys consider? What's Boston's head coach? What's his name?
I can't even.
Oh, shit. I done.
Would you guys
talking about the motherfucker too?
Would you guys consider him a part of the Popovich tree or a part of the Ime Udoka tree?
Well, it's all Joe Mazzulla.
Yeah, Mazzulla. I think they kind of go hand in hand if we're calling Udoka
a Popovich disciple.
Yeah, disciple of Popovich. But his hands-on training pause, but his direct teachings came from Udoka.
Udoka.
Yeah, so it would be more so his influence, like directly, I would say.
Yeah.
But still a connection by virtue of what Ime Udoka was, with Popovich.
Yeah.
What is he said Franken coach. I don't know what I don't know what you mean, Nunya. I don't know what you mean. But man, hey man, you know what, y'all? I want to tell y'all the comments are rolling. I love that you guys are commenting. Keep it
Absolutely.
going, man. This
Yeah.
is great. This is we having a great dialogue tonight. I'm
Absolutely.
enjoying
I love this shit. This shit is cool, man.
it. He said
I kind of thought that's what he was going. I was gonna say, but since you asked him, I was like, let me wait and let him. Yeah.
But before we get out of here, KP, do you
uh,
have
Do you like
any?
Missoula, Nunya? My bad. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think. And you know what? He does look like Frankenstein. I just thought about that. This motherfucker looks like, yeah, he does. He looks like my man off of the Adams Family, the dad, right? He got that. He's got like this real kind of
oh,
like
with the eyes.
coloration. Yeah, 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 yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
man.
Okay,
Okay,
okay. I
he
see where he's
does because
going
he
with
gets
that.
results.
Okay, I do. I
Yeah.
do.
Uh,
Engineer, random
Random
correlation.
correlation, man. But do you have any? Do you have any picks, Kev? Do you have
and I
any?
saw engineers say earlier too that they played Drew Holiday over Brown and Tatum
Yes.
on that squad too. So
There you go. I'm
And I
looking
was
out for you, Scotty.
and
Scotty boy, if you ain't won with none of the shit that KP has told you,
hey, man, he said he has won some
oh,
stuff.
you won? Okay.
He has won some
I
stuff.
must have missed that. Must have been talked about earlier too, because
Oh no, that was on another episode. On another episode.
he
Um,
said he won some and lost some. Was
yeah,
that on
exactly.
the same bet though?
That's what I'm talking about. Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. So we don't know.
Let's see. You said some picks. Tomorrow we got Boston and New York. Ooh.
And hey, y'all, the disclaimer as KP is trying to figure this shit out. The
I'm
motto
running
for
up here.
KP's
Absolutely.
for his locks, Scotty boy, bet your bottom dollar. Just don't bet none of the ones on top of it. Okay?
Yeah. Hey.
All right.
Oh,
Now
Again,
proceed
that's
with
bars.
caution.
the views and thoughts of KP are his and his alone, and do not represent the thoughts and views of two peas in a bong.
Right.
Okay. So picks. You know what? I like Derek White on points. He's always he's hit his points in 4 out of 5 games. So I like him on points. I like Tatum on points. Tatum has more 30-point playoff games than anyone since 2020. So like him on points as well. Uh
I don't know, but watch out. Tatum might not play because he takes bad shots and uh
he can do that when he's the man.
I'm fucking with you, man.
You said what you said.
Hey, I'm fucking with you, man.
Hey,
I'm
uh,
fucking with you. Hold up.
and actually, nah, I don't want to take Tatum on points because I don't.
Oh, look at him, y'all.
No, no, no.
You
I'm gonna tell
can't
you why.
trust this shit,
No, no, no.
Scotty boy.
I'm gonna tell you why. He's if he has to match up with Carl Anthony Towns, that's gonna be a tough matchup for him in the post. Because I remember when Carl Anthony Towns played against Detroit, it was Tobias Harris that was matched up with him because New York was going with 2 bigs at times. So curious to see how Boston would come out and combat that. Um, I I wait to see how Tatum is. I mean, not Tatum, how Brown is. I know his knee has been hampering him. Maybe the rest helps him. Um, Jalen Brunson, I would take him on points. Definitely take Jalen Brunson on points.
Hey, I'll tell you this. Speaking of New York, um, the Knicks kind of remind me of the Clippers of the East,
Why you say
except
that?
Watch your mouth.
there's more.
Bong, watch your mouth.
Hear me out. Hear me out.
I'm hearing you out.
Because people want them to be a thing. They want them to make this run. The New York Knicks fans are actually crazier than Clipper fans because, like, they pack Madison Square Garden every playoff run, and it gets super electric. And every playoff run, they get let down. I respect Steve Ballmer. So you know the Clippers have this thing called the Wall in LA, right? And for Game 7, shout out to Steve Ballmer.
Oh yeah,
He's an owner that's gonna put it all on the line. This motherfucker chartered a flight to bring I don't know how many Clipper fans, 120 Clipper fans to create the Wall in Denver for Game 7. That's dope. That's as an owner, like
he wants to win.
He wants to win, and it makes your fans like. As a fan of a team, you want that from an owner. You know who he reminds me of? Like Mark Cuban.
Yeah.
Mark Cuban was more of like a player. He was more like a great guy for the player, for the organization. There's stories about how Mark Cuban used to take care of like all the staff that worked there. And
did y'all see Mark Cuban arguing with the fan on X?
About the trade?
And he was like, "Were you arguing when I was paying you bonuses and all of that shit?" Like he was like spazzing out on him.
Nah, well, Mark Cuban, he's hella active on X, but or Twitter. I ain't calling this X.
Twitter.
He's hella active on Twitter.
Just like I don't call the crypto arena crypto, it's Staples Center.
Yeah, but but again,
I like Chargers for the San Diego Chargers. My bad.
I like Steve Ballmer for what he's doing. Like that is great ownership, and I think it's refreshing for the NBA and for a franchise like the Clippers, who always see. You remember back in the day, they talk about how the Clippers used to practice at a public gym.
Yeah,
like motherfuckers didn't even have your own gym, but. I think the Knicks are the East Coast version of the Clippers.
The Lakers used to practice at motherfucking Southwest College.
It'd be a Southwest,
right.
But you know what, Bong? Not in the wall. I agree with everything you're saying about Ballmer, and you said they got this thing called the Wall. Shit, they got this thing called the Intuit Dome. Those motherfuckers didn't have their own facility for some time. They're sharing
the sports arena at one point.
Listen, man. That's been long gone. Sports arena don't even exist no more. But they were sharing the floor with the Lakers, and you had to fit them in between a hockey game and the basketball. That's why the Clippers had all those early afternoon games all the time, because they had to get the schedule together. But everything that you said, Bong, stamp that shit. Definitely agree with you, and maybe you'll see more of a craze behind them since the buzz is building for them, and they got their own spot in Inglewood. And you needed that type of shit.
If you're a player in free agency looking on a spot to go, a team to play for, why wouldn't you come to the Clippers?
Yeah, why wouldn't you come on?
Like I think he's trying to change the culture, the narrative with the Clippers. And again, it's going to take time. And he bet big on Kawhi, and it hasn't paid off. He was able to get off of the Paul George
contract
or whatever you want to call it. He's doing good things. I think Ty Lue's a decent coach, but it's going to take time to really get that stench of what the fuck was the old owner's name, man?
Hey, listen.
What's the old owner? It starts with an
F. And he was I can't even think of the motherfucker's name right now.
I'll tell you in a second.
He was
Sterling.
Yeah,
Sterling. He owned a bunch of apartments.
Slumlord.
Yeah, slumlord type of
in Koreatown.
Yeah.
In Koreatown. Yeah.
Oh wow.
What?
Whoa.
Who's Sterling?
Whoa.
Sterling had the Sterling was married and he had the little black side chick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Oh wow.
Or is he talking about Balmer?
Yeah, I don't know. Hey, Balmer should do a hey, Balmer should do like a Suge Knight commercial. Like just do some funny shit.
Oh yeah, he's
Like,
talking about
come on
Sterling.
over
He did.
He had the
Sterling.
black chick that was like his secretary or the right hand.
She's the one that set him up. The same one that set him up.
to
Set him up on
probably.
right, with the
I remember when
wiretaps.
she recorded the conversation.
The wiretaps. Talking about
Yeah.
why
That
don't you
probably
like
was her
Magic?
then.
Why don't
Yeah.
you like Magic? Magic's a great guy.
I said that even though Magic had AIDS, I loved him and I was praying for him.
Yeah, get out of here,
Be off the
Sterling.
rails again.
Whoa.
But
Hey,
hey,
the
listen,
NBA showed you because you talking about that face of the league stuff and all of that before. The NBA showed you that if you are not following the script, we will get your ass out of there.
nobody's bigger than the program, man. Nobody's bigger than the program. And
So
that's listen, ask Allen Iverson, ask Boogie Cousins. There's guys, you know, the way the NBA did Allen Iverson when he still had tread on the tires, when he still had something that he was still working with something. But again, they said when you're at your height, Allen Iverson, the whole practice bit and like, you know, not being committed to the game publicly and
Yeah.
on record where people see you as one of the faces of the league and they look to you to be that and that's the way you respond. The moment there's slippage, will jettison your ass out of here. Boogie
I-
Cousins,
I
and
knew
and,
same thing.
for
and,
Iverson.
and before you move on to the Iverson thing, I get what you're saying, Bong, but I mean, committed to the game publicly. The main public display is the game itself
Yeah.
that he's
And
playing in,
but
going
that's
through
what he was
injuries, hurt.
saying.
No,
The
no,
whole practice,
I know, but I'm bringing that up to say, like,
not
nigga,
the game.
publicly is like, what do you know,
Hey,
what the fuck you
not
mean?
the game.
Bill
Not this
World said
game.
his favorite player mentioned.
Yeah, man.
I knew it was bad for Iverson when he went to Detroit and he couldn't even get number 3. Rodney Stuckey had it
Yeah.
and didn't give it up. And then it was like Iverson's coming off the bench because Rodney Stuckey was starting. I was like, damn, this is all bad. And then
Oh, Iverson and Camby got you start. So back in the Big East. So I'm assuming this is when Camby was with UMass and Iverson was with Georgetown.
Okay, so
Hell yeah.
Okay.
Camby's coach was Calipari.
Hey,
Yeah.
Nunez, everything Massachusetts, man. That's dope.
That.
Hey, Marcus Camby, remember?
Damn,
Damn, who did he go against?
that's despicable, man. I am not Massachusetts fan. I want you to know that.
Hey, but hey, listen, Marcus Camby, he was in
I
college.
didn't miss flights because I didn't want to go to Massachusetts. I was like, catch the next one.
Marcus Camby at UMass, he had a hell of a playoff, NCAA tournament.
He did.
When I actually was like, oh, Marcus Camby's that guy. Damn, who'd he go against? He went against somebody that would also get drafted to the NBA that year. I can't remember.
They played Kentucky that year.
Jamal Mashburn, right?
Yeah. I don't know if it was Was it Mashburn that year? I know.
No. It was Big Cat.
Walker or Walker came after. I'm sorry.
Damn it, what's the dude's name? Gosh, big dude. I see his
McCarty?
face.
Walter McCarty?
No, McCarty was on there with
big dude, man.
Candy was there
Walker.
6.
McCarty and Walker were on the same in the same brand.
Okay, wasn't Ron Mercer was on that team?
They had a big man. He also went to the league. He was getting after it with him and Camby. I can't remember his name, but he played for Kentucky. I see his face, but anyway, let's move on. Another person they tried to jettison out the league. Believe it or not, Kobe Bryant. Kobe was one of the coldest motherfuckers to me because at a time where the NBA was trying to move past him because of the whole Denver, Colorado thing.
How about Antoine Walker, Oob,
No,
That's what I said first.
Nazi Muhammad?
no. I see his face. I just obviously I'll definitely remember after we get off the
Okay, my bad.
not big country, but it was a black dude. Hot damn. Anyway,
That dude I'm thinking about is John Wallace, but he wasn't on that team. Jamal McGlure?
Jamal McGlure. That's the
McGlure.
big dude, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Jamal McGlure,
he's a big man.
yeah.
Yeah. But I'm saying he got drafted. He was nice. He played for Kentucky. I don't know who else was on that team, but him and Camby had a battle. Big
Who else?
light skinned dude, right?
Brown skin.
Yeah.
Scott Patchett was on that team. Derek Anderson, Ron Mercer.
Yeah,
They were-
Derek Anderson was probably the most underrated player out of that era with those Kentucky players. He was nice.
Jamal McGlure. Yes. Hell yeah.
Jamal
Camby
McGlure
was a beast though.
nasty.
Anyway, man, we didn't hit the 2 hour mark.
Mm-hmm.
Shit, a little bit over 2 hours.
You guys would love Boston, by the way. The people here know how to have a good time.
Hey,
Man,
my
I ain't got no clubs, brother.
yeah, my daughter's her mom's side of the family is she got a lot of folks from Boston. She's actually been out there to visit and stuff, so
Your cousin from Boston.
I may have to go out there with her one time. So
Man, listen, man. Y'all hanging out at Cheers, man. Y'all ain't got no y'all ain't got the strip clubs, man. Y'all at Hooters and Cheers.
sometimes you wanna go where everybody knows your name.
Everybody knows your name in the bar. Too much.
And they're
always
always
glad you came.
Oh man.
Where people see troubles are all the same. Yeah.
You wanna go where everybody knows your name.
You got a And engineer said Houston is all right. Yeah, I've been to H-Town, man. I've been there a couple times.
H-Town.
I gotta make my way to see if they really knocking the boots out in H-Town.
H-Town.
Listen, engineer, the damn water in Galveston that Charles Barkley be talking about, I done been to that Galveston beach. Terrible. Hey, man, the water in Galveston is brown. You know how the beach water, you got the beach water is blue where we are.
Hey, look.
It's nice on the Atlantic. It's like greenish, clearish. But in Galveston, it's brown and nasty.
KP about to have all the Galveston folks hating two peas in a bong like San Antonio with Barkley.
Why engineer said, why'd I go to Galveston? I wanted to go to the Gulf because I've been to the Pacific Ocean. I've been to the Atlantic. So I was like, let me go down to the Gulf. So I went to Galveston. It was like 45 minutes to get to the beach, something like that. And yeah.
Never again.
That wasn't it.
All two of the people in Galveston up in arms. Huh?
They gonna be like two peas in a bong, and that guy engineer who keeps commenting, "We hate you guys,
suckers." Oh man, nah, man. But anyway, man, we appreciate y'all for rocking with us tonight. Kev, you can put up the banner, but I'll say it again: please like, share, subscribe, and comment. We truly appreciate it. We will be back tomorrow night at our new regular scheduled time. Engineer Mondays.
Yeah, so we not juke. Engineer said we was juking them like they was juking the stats in the wire.
Right, fudging the stats.
Take care, Nunya. Take care.
All right, man. Holla at y'all. Peace.